This is 9 News with Dougal Beatty.
Good afternoon. It's been another explosive day of evidence in the missing campers trial, with the final hours of Greg Lynn's police interview played to the courtroom. The accused high country killer appeared calm as he described the steps he took to cover up the deaths. Amber Johnston has the latest.
Well, at this point, the police interview has spanned 2 days, with Greg Lynn pictured using a map and a pen to direct police to where he dumped the bodies of Russell Hill and Carol Clay. As he took them through step by step, he referenced his career as a former Jetstar captain. "My profession is decision-making pathways, and I might have made a terrible one here, but it was a quick decision to try and get the best outcome. That's what I do." The 57-year-old trying to explain to police his panicked attempts to cover up the deaths of Mr Hill and Mrs Clay, which he claims was all a tragic accident following a wrestle over a shotgun. "At the time, I could see all my options were bad, and trying to cover it up was one that might actually offer a glimmer of hope for a normal life." With Detective Sergeant Brett Florence on the other side of the table, the hunting enthusiast explained how he stole wads of cash from the couple's wallets to pay for fuel before loading their bodies into his trailer and driving hours away to dump them in isolated bushland. "I'm married with a family that would be upset if I came to you straight away. My career, the rest of my life with my memberships, the clubs that I'm involved in, it's not invitation only, but there's interviews to get in. And an event like that, I'd be instantly banned." Although he took steps to cover up their deaths, he maintains he's not guilty of murder. But prosecutors tell a very different story, alleging he killed them with intent.
A Sydney woman on a weekend away in Melbourne has recounted how she was left seriously injured after a man pushed her off an e-scooter. The 48-year-old was riding along King Street just after 10 a.m. on Sunday, May 12, when the assault occurred.
If I fell backwards and hit my head the wrong way, it could have ended so much worse.
It's an appalling attack on an innocent person that couldn't defend themselves.
Police are searching for a Caucasian man believed to be 30 to 40 years old who was wearing a grey hoodie and a black cap. The Premier and her deputy have put on a united front, brushing off speculation about a suburban rail loop revolt within the government. State political reporter Heidi Murphy has the details for us. Heidi, Jacinta Allen and Ben Carroll were all smiles today.
Yeah, Dougal, both on the same track on the infrastructure priorities of the state government after days of reports of growing unease amongst northern and western suburbs MPs. The Deputy Premier a week ago today was advocating firmly for airport rail and the station for Keilor East that would come with it, saying his electorate has substandard public transport just 15 kilometres from the CBD. Today he said he did not attend a meeting of MPs that was unhappy with suburban rail loop taking up so much of the government spending, and Ben Carroll has stuck firmly to the script today.
It is government policy, and I support the government policy and I support the government agenda on getting suburban rail loop built.
Certainly the colleagues who've raised suburban rail loop with me talk about how excited they are.
The opposition ventured out to the west where the Wyndham Law Complex is due to open next year. It is still being built, but we understand the funding needed to staff it was deferred in last month's budget. The opposition not happy at the sounds of that.
This is the price we're all paying as Victorians because Labor can't manage money.
Now, the government says the build won't be done until next year and that the money will be there when it is needed, not committing, though, Dougal, to just when that opening date could be.
All right, Heidi Murphy, thank you. Hundreds of rare and exotic reptiles have been pulled from a warehouse fire in Melbourne's outer east in a desperate attempt to save their lives. Jack Ward reports.
It was a frantic rescue operation here at Jurassic Jungle in Kilsyth South last night as they tried to save more than 500 animals, including crocodiles and Australia's most deadliest snake, from the burning warehouse. Firefighters had to deal with an extra level of danger as they battled the blaze from inside and above, surrounded by venomous reptiles. The orange glow lit up the sky off Canterbury Road just after 8 last night.
If it hadn't been noticed by some other occupiers further down the road here, the fire extinction would have been far worse than what it was when we first arrived.
16 appliances were called in to stop the fire spreading to neighbouring businesses housing flammable chemicals. It was mostly contained to the animal warehouse but did cause smoke damage to properties on either side.
There was some safety concerns in regards to the cages potentially being compromised. It's not something our firefighters certainly would have wanted to confront, that's for sure.
Matt from the glass business next door rolled up his sleeves, helping his neighbours rescue as many animals as they could.
I'll bring them out and I was loading them onto the ute to move them away from the fire.
The Jurassic Jungle team, who also have a shop front in Bayswater, have been devastated by the blaze. It's estimated half of the animals inside were unable to be saved.
Young family just trying to make a living, and just going to have a major impact on his business and his life.
The fire is not being treated as suspicious. Investigators will look into whether an electrical fault started the blaze.
The government's commitment to helping solve the nation's housing crisis has been criticised after a new skilled migrants list showed yoga teachers and dog trainers could be prioritised over desperately needed tradies. Federal Politics reporter Amanda Kopp explains.
This is all to do with something called the Core Skills Occupation List. The list determines which migrants will be prioritised to come to Australia based on their work and skills, and it's an indication of which areas are experiencing workers' shortages. This year, the government wants to bring in teachers, specialist engineers, doctors, nurses and dentists, all areas that have skills shortages. But while some tradies are on the definite list, like carpenters and electricians, most are on the maybe list that needs more consultation. It's left building groups scratching their heads.
Australia is desperate for tradies. It's simple as that. We need to build 1.2 million homes to ensure that we house every Australian over the next 5 years. We need 500,000 new workers into the building and construction industry over the next 3 years.
We've got genuine skill shortages in Australia, but also a real population pressure problem in the housing market, in our infrastructure, and this government has none of the settings around migration right.
Now, the thing to note here is that this is just a draft list. A final list will be presented to the federal government later this year before it makes any final calls.
18 of our best female soccer players have been handed a ticket to Paris as part of the Matildas squad for the Olympic Games. As Damien Ryan reports, selecting the players was no easy task for coach Tony Gustafsson.
For weeks, even months, it's been the burning question, who's in or who's out of Australia's most popular sporting team for the Paris Olympics? Well, today we got the answer. Of course, there's no Sam Kerr. She's injured. So Steph Catley will step up and lead this 18-strong team to Paris. It is full of experience. There are 8 players competing at their 3rd Olympics, including Mackenzie Arnold, Alana Kennedy and Emily Van Egmond. There are 4 debutantes, Claire Wheeler, Caitlin Torpey, Claire Hunt and Courtney Vine. Now, the selectors have also rolled the dice, basically. Katrina Gorry hasn't played football for quite some time after an ankle injury, but she is in the squad. They're confident she'll be okay. Now, the Matildas wrapped up their preparation at home last night with a 2-0 win over China in front of 76,000 people, the biggest crowd that the Matildas have ever played in front of. And now it was a send-off for legend goalkeeper Lydia Williams, and it might just be her last game for the Matildas. She has not been chosen in the squad, but she is included in the travelling reserve, which means that she will only get a start if there's an injury. Coach Tony Gustafsson said there was much joy and much heartbreak in coming up with those final 18 names.
Same day you tell someone that you're selected for Olympics and they're over the moon happy and there's tears and joy and screams, but at the same day you're going to have a conversation to someone say you're not selected, even though you know that actually deserves to be selected.
The Olympics kick off on July 26 and the Matildas will kick off their campaign a day earlier on July 25 in a match against that powerhouse team Germany. Now, the Matildas finished 4th in Tokyo. Of course, they want to go at least one better in Paris.
Still to come in Nine's afternoon news, the new vehicle report helping Victorians in the market for second-hand cars, plus permanent residents from other countries able to apply for our Defence Force in a bid to bolster numbers.
Saving kids like Harry.
To beating cancer. 1, 2, 3. Whoa!
Help is out there.
It's all yours.
But red tape's putting young lives at risk.
Help us. This drug needs to be brought to Australia. How can you say no to that?
A current affair tonight.
Per bottle?
Per glass.
$6.95 giant snack pack. Great chow. So watch me while I work.
This is Cheryl Long. She's an APIA customer consultant. Unlike some other insurers, APIA can offer you personalised advice, which means they take the time to understand what matters to you most. That's just one reason we're proud to have been awarded CanStar's Most Satisfied Customers 2023. Chat to APIA today and speak with a specialist like Cheryl, so you'll get cover that suits you and your budget. That's APIA value.
Get 60 months interest-free at Harvey Norman. No deposit, no interest with 60 monthly repayments from Latitude Financial Services and receive a bonus gift card up to $1,000. That's a $100 gift card for every $1,000 you spend. Terms, fees, charges and exclusions apply. Harvey Norman clearance on now.
Travel more in 2024. Holiday this year and save $250 on bucket list deals. Hurry, sale ends June 20. Head to tripadeal.com.au.
You have to look after yourself before looking after anyone else, and that starts with self-care. Upgrade to new Dove Men Advanced 72-hour sweat and odour protection, plus added moisturisers for confidence that lasts. Upgrade to new Dove Men Advanced.
The all-electric MG4, car sales car of the year, with sleek lines, cutting-edge technology, dynamic performance and a 5-star ANCAP safety rating. MG4, now from just $39,990 drive away. Yesterday's gone. The Fleetwood Mac legacy. Join some of Australia's finest artists as they perform the incredible hits of Fleetwood Mac. Playing Narre Warren and Melbourne this August. Tickets on sale now at yesterdaysgone.com.au.
Australian minerals companies paid over $74 billion in taxes and royalties in 1 year alone, helping fund infrastructure and services. That's why every Australian has a stake in Australian minerals. Authorised by T Constable, Minerals Council of Australia, Canberra.
Terry White Chemmart has real deals on all your favourite brands like LifeSpace Broad Spectrum Probiotic, Panadol Children 1 to 5 years and Oral-B Vitality Electric Toothbrush. Get real deals every day at Terry White Chemmart, dedicated to care.
In the blockbuster finale event of the year, only 4 remain.
Not a quitter. I'm getting to that summit.
Who will rise and win over $500,000? You'll be pushed to the edge till the very last second.
All for a taste of that cold, hard cash.
The summit finale, tonight 7:30 on 9.
Vic Roads has launched a new vehicle report to help Victorians buying second-hand cars, motorcycles, caravans, trailers and heavy vehicles. It's the only report available that includes registration information, transfer history, recorded odometer readings and previous roadworthy results.
Buying a second-hand vehicle is an intimidating process at the best of times, and with the imbalance of information between often buyer and seller, we're trying to address that.
It's available to purchase and download via the Vic Roads website for $27. Foreign citizens will be able to join Australia's Defence Force in a move to tackle the nation's military recruitment crisis. The drive will include New Zealanders and permanent residents from the UK, US, Canada and Pacific Island nations. For more, we're joined by Marcus Hellier, Head of Research at Strategic Analysis Australia. Good afternoon to you, Marcus. So what's your reaction to the changes?
I think overall this is a good thing. One thing we know about the current state of the Australian Defence Force is it's short of people. It's currently under 60,000. It needs to grow to 80,000 to operate all of the new ships and submarines and other equipment that we're buying. So we need to grow by over 20,000. Already we're about nearly 5,000 short of where we need to be. So that's close to 10%. So we need to find more people, and I think this is probably a good place to start.
Marcus, has this model been successful overseas, and is there somewhere where we're following this?
There are other countries have recruited from permanent residents. So the idea of recruiting Pacific Islanders, the government hasn't actually said that's happening yet. The Defence Minister, Richard Marles, has suggested it's something they're thinking about. And other countries have used that kind of model successfully. Many of us are aware of the Gurkhas, the Nepalese tribesmen who have served for many years now with great distinction in the British military. There's about 1,500 Fijians also in the British military, and they've served in conflicts such as Afghanistan. So it is a model that has worked for other countries, and I do think it's worth considering.
And on that, although it's not being promoted really, there is a path to citizenship for foreign nationals. What would that do for Australia's influence in the Pacific?
Well, we have a number of measures already where we allow Pacific Islanders to come and work in Australia. So in a sense, this is an extension of that. Those other models where they work, let's say, as fruit pickers, that doesn't lead to citizenship. So that's a new element here. But I think, if you're willing to fight for a country and defend it, then getting citizenship at the end of it is a worthwhile reward for that service.
If we take a step back, why is the ADF finding it so difficult to recruit more people at the moment?
Well, everybody's got their pet theory on that. Some people say it's just too difficult to get in. We've set the bar too high in terms of physical condition or psychological background. Other people say, well, it's a problem with young people and that they're not patriotic enough. I don't necessarily buy that. But I do think many Australians sort of don't feel a connection to the Defence Force. They don't feel that it's either something of importance to them. And so I do think we need to expand the pool of applicants. One way to do that is to recruit from permanent residents, but that's only one small part. I do think the ADF needs to reconsider recruitment standards. Not everybody wants to be a Special Forces operator or an infantry soldier, so you could probably consider different physical standards for them. And I also think we need to sort of cut away a lot of the red tape and a lot of the paperwork. You hear a lot of stories of young people applying for the military and they don't sort of get onto a base to start their training for over a year, and many of them give up and find something else to do. So there's a lot of solutions we need to follow, but this latest announcement about recruiting permanent residents, I think, is a step in the right direction.
Well, it's a big issue. Marcus Hellier from Strategic Analysis Australia, thank you very much for your time today.
It's a pleasure.
A landslide in northern Taiwan has put 2 people in hospital, crushed 9 vehicles and shut down a major cliffside highway. Vision captured at the scene shows some people, including a scooter rider, narrowly escaping the falling rocks. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the face of America's COVID response, has been grilled by US lawmakers over the origins of the virus and protection measures. This report from US correspondent Jonathan Kersley.
Dr. Anthony Fauci was at the forefront of America's COVID response as the head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Today he was questioned by lawmakers on Capitol Hill, mainly Republicans, who wanted to quiz him publicly over the origins of the virus and his recommendations. Dr. Fauci hit back at a number of what he sees as conspiracy theories, namely that he bribed public officials and suppressed a theory the virus leaked from a laboratory in Wuhan in China.
It's a false accusation that I tried to cover up the possibility that the virus originated from a lab. In fact, the truth is exactly the opposite.
It was at times a heated hearing. Republicans had Dr. Fauci in their sights. They accuse him of lying, of profiting privately off the pandemic. All denied. Donald Trump was Dr. Fauci's boss during the pandemic, and today Democrats accused Republicans of bowing to the former president.
They're treating you, Dr. Fauci, like a convicted felon. Actually, you probably wish they were treating you like a convicted felon. They treat convicted felons with love and admiration.
That man does not deserve to have a license. As a matter of fact, it should be revoked, and he belongs in prison.
More than 1.2 million Americans are estimated to have died with COVID. Dr. Fauci left his post as the top US public health official more than a year ago, and he said today there is still more work to be done by governments to prepare for the next pandemic.
Time now for a check on the weather with Livinia. And Livinia, there's no mistaking winter is with us now.
Oh, Dougal, the chill has definitely gone up a notch. And once again, the sunshine couldn't break through the cloud. Temperatures were bang on average for the city, a low of 7 and a top of 14. And that maximum came quite early in the day, shortly after 11 a.m. The western half of the state had a very different start to the day to the east. It was very chilly. Horsham dipped below zero, but minimums were above average through the east, and both Orbost and Mallacoota stayed in double figures. And Mallacoota has been enjoying dry conditions after what's been a very wet 48 hours. There's been 130 millimetres of rain, almost 40 more than the entire June average. The satellite picture shows a broad area of cloud sitting over eastern states, but it has been mostly dry across the mainland, with showers confined to South Australia. Tomorrow the showers will contract to the east coast, so there is more rain on the way for Sydney. I'll have the latest Victorian forecast for you in around half an hour, Dougal.
All right, thanks, Livinia. We'll see you soon. Well, just ahead for you, new data reveals millions of Australian homes are at risk of natural disasters, pushing up insurance premiums. The little boy who stole the show in US Congress, and in sport with Clint Stanaway, the Tigers to rest Dusty, paving the way for an MCG celebration.
The prime time swimming blockbuster. Our superstar Aussies race for their golden ticket to Paris. She's got her eyes on Paris. The must-see Australian swimming trials. Starts Monday. Exclusive. Live and free on 9 and 9 now.
Join Melbourne biggest party with the boss. Let's go.
Rylock windows and doors combine quality, style and performance. Custom made for your project with an emphasis on energy efficiency. Rylock. Speak to your architect, designer or builder about the Rylock range of products.
If you're looking for a large SUV, you won't find one with more spec at a better price than the LDV D90. Right now, get the 7-seat D90 SUV from $34,990 drive away for ABN holders. Visit a dealer today. LDV, bring it on.
Walk with me, I'll walk with you. Down these troubled roads we've stumbled into. We're all in this thing together.
Thousands of Aussies go dry in July to raise funds for people affected by cancer. This is why we Dry July. Sign up today.
When it comes to adding value to a home, I've been around the block a few times. And with the cost of living sky high, going solar is the smartest move you can make for your home and the planet. Sun Solar Energy, the experts in solar solutions, are saving Australians big on their energy costs.
Escape soaring electricity prices with our end of financial year sale. Fully installed solar systems from just $691 upfront. Fully installed batteries with zero upfront cost. We won't be beaten on service or price. Hurry, offer must end June 30. Call Sun Solar Energy today.
These are the women who changed football.
It's a moment remembered forever.
Witness the incredible rise.
There was no infrastructure. It was really daunting, just a fight to earn respect.
Of Australia's national teams.
It gives me goosebumps thinking about it.
Discover the legacy.
Striking was the last option.
And unbreakable spirit.
We've come so far.
That defines them.
This is our story.
The Stan original documentary, Trailblazers, now streaming only on Stan.
Some people reckon this is the Aussie way. Sure, but at Aussie Broadband, we reckon there's a little more to it.
Like keeping your entire family better connected with Australia's most trusted telco. Even this little champion. Where did you get this dog? With reliable internet brought to you at speed and a local expert support team that are there to help whenever you need it. Yes! That's Aussie Broadband. That's the actual Aussie way.
This sports report brought to you by the Snooze End of Financial Year sale. Save up to 50% off mattresses. Hurry, sale on now.
Welcome back to Nine's Afternoon News. Sport time now, and Richmond star Dusty Martin won't play this weekend, which paves the way for a 300th game at the MCG. For more, let's head live to Nathan Curry in our newsroom. Nath, it's not as simple as Dusty being rested though.
No, it isn't, Clint. Adam Uze has actually revealed that Dusty is sick at the moment. So at Richmond training today, Dusty was a no-show. Richmond only had a 5-day break before the flight to Adelaide tomorrow to take on the Crows on Thursday night. So Dusty would have had to train today to be able to pick. So he didn't train. So they've been weighing up what to do around this big 300 milestone. But Adam Uze today, the situation was forced out of their hands.
The silver lining to that is the fact that he'll get to play his 300th in front of our crowd against the Hawks next week. So, yeah, we're disappointed that he's not available for this week, but for our supporters and our Tiger Army, they'll get to see him, which will be great.
Meanwhile at Moorabbin, plenty of optimism now the Saints have had a win over the Eagles, and captain Jack Steele, who was sporting a bit of a black eye, is very confident that finals are still on the agenda.
We know it's going to be a fair challenge. But we're really looking forward to it, and we know in the back half of the year we play quite a lot of footy at Marvel Stadium, so we're really looking forward to that.
And it is Tribunal Tuesday. Riley West from the Dogs will kick things off in just about 10 minutes' time, and then Harley Reid, the one everyone is talking about, that is scheduled to kick off at around 6 o'clock, Clint.
Thank you, Nathan. Switching codes now, Queensland has arrived in enemy territory ahead of Game 1 of State of Origin tomorrow night. Maroons coach Billy Slater suggesting he might make a change to his side an hour before kick-off.
I'm going to stand here and tell you exactly how we're going to play. I'd love to tell all our Queenslanders out there how we're going to play, but that's what makes it exciting.
All the action of Origin tomorrow night live on the Nine Network. Overseas, Alex de Minaur has become the first Australian to reach the quarterfinals at Roland Garros since Leighton Hewitt in 2004. The Demon producing one of his finest wins of his career, rallying from a set down to defeat his mate Daniel Medvedev in 4.
I love clay, I love it, he's saying. And you've got to embrace it when you're producing results like this.
I've managed to beat a quality opponent and in a Grand Slam 4th round, which is kind of the goals that I had been setting for myself, to go deep at these events. And yeah, I'm very proud of myself.
So that win catapults de Minaur into 8th in the world rankings. He'll tackle Alexander Zverev in just his 2nd Grand Slam quarter. Finally in sport, Cameron Green's late run of form in the IPL has him primed for the T20 World Cup. The hulking all-rounder says he'll be ready to slot straight into Australia's starting 11, wherever he's needed, comfortable with his title of Mr. Fix-It.
There has never been a really consistent spot to really lock in, I think. But at the same time, I'm pretty thankful for that. I feel like I can jump in at many different roles. I think that's kind of where I'll see myself this tournament. Maybe plugging holes in the team. I think it's a pretty good team to get into.
The Aussies start their campaign on Thursday against Oman in Barbados. And that is sport for the time being. Great stuff, Clint. Thank you. Well, new research highlights the huge number of Australian homes now at risk from natural disasters, but the problem, we're told, is not well understood. Finance editor Chris Kohler.
Close to half the homes in Australia have some level of bushfire risk, 5.6 million properties. Close to 1 million are at risk of floods and thousands more are under threat of coastal erosion. New research showing the spread of the population, along with more extreme weather, is making a bad problem even worse.
We are seeing more people live on perilous land in order to find a place to call home.
Awareness, however, is low. Fewer than a third of homeowners know the kinds of risks their property faces. And at the same time, insurance has become significantly more expensive, leading to widespread underinsurance.
If you're in one of those areas that's prone to either bushfire or flood, chances are you've been hit with a premium quote that is way above what you can afford. And secondly, you might find that your insurer has come to you and said, look, I'm not prepared to renew.
A future housing forum is underway today in Sydney, designed to address the lack of awareness and the scale of the issue and encourage a multi-sector approach to solutions. We'll have more detail in 9 News at 6.
A US congressman's son has stolen the limelight during a televised address, pulling funny faces behind his father in full view of the cameras. Representative John Rose was speaking to the House, denouncing former US President Donald Trump's convictions when this happened.
the current Republican nominee, we'd be well served to remember the long and cherished tradition we have in this country of settling our political differences at the ballot box. For nearly 2.5 centuries, our nation's elected leaders...
The congressman later posted it on social media. This is what I get for telling my son Guy to smile for the camera for his little brother. Classic manoeuvre there. Well, coming up after the break, Bon Voyage P&O, why the cruise brand is being scrapped and what it means for passengers. And thefts from motor vehicles across Melbourne saw how police are tackling the problem.
We need the restaurant fully operational in...
Yeah, go on.
2 days.
It's a race against time.
Our hope is we'll be up and running before the council have got time to object.
Will Jeremy's big dream finally become a reality?
The guests have arrived.
Clarkson's Farm, tonight after the summit on 9.
So what are you looking for?
The one I've been waiting for.
The E&S end of financial year sale is finally here, with up to an unbelievable 20% off. Kitchen, bathroom and laundry appliances. That's up to 20% off ovens, cooktops, range hoods and dishwashers. Up to 20% off fridges. Up to 20% off washers and dryers. And up to 20% off our entire bathroom range. And we won't be beaten on price. Shop in store or online and get value the E&S way.
This week's Oz Lotto draw is $3 million. With a $3 million draw this Tuesday, make sure you've got your Oz Lotto ticket.
These are the women who changed football.
It's a moment remembered forever.
Witness the incredible rise.
There was no infrastructure. It was really daunting, just a fight to earn respect.
Of Australia's national team.
It gives me goosebumps thinking about it.
Discover the legacy.
Striking was the last option.
And unbreakable spirit.
We've come so far.
That defines them.
This is our story.
The Stan original documentary, Trailblazers, now streaming only on Stan.
There are people out there who are looking for more than just a good place to call home. They want to feel great about their future today and tomorrow. At Macquarie, we call them good borrowers. They're considered, they pick their moment, making smart moves when the right opportunities arise. If this sounds like you, join the home of good borrowers today. So you too can say, I bank with Macquarie.
Get into Anaconda for the best value snow gear with $49.99 adult snow jackets and pants and $39.99 kids snow jackets and pants. Gear up the whole family this winter. Play more and pay less. Anaconda!
With the kids, I wanted to stay away from as much unnatural stuff as I possibly can. Recommended it to my husband, my family and my friends. I'm definitely no super mum, but it does do what it says it does. I wouldn't choose anything else.
My Car's end of financial year sale is here with 40% off all Pirelli tyres for one day only. How you spend the savings is up to you. Shop online, in-store or over the phone. T's and C's apply. My Car, Tyre and Auto. People first.
When there are issues with your bathroom grout and you need someone to sort it out. Stop leaking showers and balconies without removing tiles. Visit megasealed.com.au.
Even tough tummies can be sensitive. Milk that's naturally free from A1 protein. Only A2 will do.
Australia's greatest rivalry. Ampol State of Origin. Live on 9 and 9 now.
The final hours of Greg Lynn's police interview have been played to the courtroom in another explosive day of evidence in the High Country campers trial. The accused killer appeared calm as he described the steps he took to cover up the deaths of Russell Hill and Carol Clay, telling detectives, "My profession is decision-making pathways and I might have made a terrible one here, but it was a quick decision to try and get the best outcome. That's what I do." The former Jetstar pilot also explained how he stole wads of cash from the couple's wallets to pay for fuel. Police are hunting for a violent thug who knocked a mother off an e-scooter in an unprovoked attack in the middle of the city on Mother's Day. Eliza Rugg reports.
The victim in this case, Tracy, was on holidays here from Sydney with family and friends. She was going to brunch and decided to ride an e-scooter instead of walking because she has rheumatoid arthritis. On the morning of Mother's Day, May 12, as Tracy rode the e-scooter along King Street, the 48-year-old medical receptionist was randomly attacked by this man on the footpath.
As I approached near this male, he just put his arm out and knocked me completely off the scooter. All I could see was me going towards the ground. I felt the side of my face hit the ground quite hard.
It's an appalling attack on an innocent person that couldn't defend themselves.
Tracy was knocked to the ground and was seriously injured.
A cut near my eye, bruising, swelling, a cut lip, and bleeding.
A woman driving past stopped to help. Then Tracy's husband arrived shortly after.
Initially, he thought I fell off the scooter, but then when I explained to him what had happened, he was just in complete shock.
The offender left Tracy on the ground and just kept walking. He crossed the road in front of oncoming traffic on King Street. That man is described as being Caucasian. He's aged between 30 to 40 years old. He has a medium build and he's approximately 177 centimetres tall. Tracy says the incident not only ruined her Mother's Day, but also her view of Melbourne as a safe city for tourists. She's unlikely to return here anytime soon.
P&O Cruises will depart Australia for good after a smooth sailing voyage of 90 years. The brand will be absorbed into its parent company in March. Kate Creedon has the details.
P&O cruise ships have been a familiar sight here on Sydney Harbour and ports around Australia for generations. But from next year, the iconic cruising brand will no longer exist, with local operations to be taken over by Carnival Cruise Line Australia. Under the restructure, two P&O ships, the Pacific Encounter and Pacific Adventure, will be rebranded to Carnival, while the Pacific Explorer will be retired. Parent company Carnival Corporation says it's a necessary and strategic decision to increase passenger capacity for Carnival Cruise Line, as well as reduce operating costs. A small number of administrative staff based at the company's Chatswood office were today told they would be made redundant, while the crew working on board the Pacific Explorer will be redeployed to other ships in the Carnival fleet from February. Those boarding the Explorer in Brisbane this afternoon sad to learn it could be their last P&O cruise.
I was shocked. Oh, it's really sad. They've been such great family and easy to deal with ship and cruise line. So what is it going to be like? I'm really disappointed.
When I think back, when I was 18, I went on a cruise and that was on P&O, the Himalaya. Most people haven't even heard of that one. It's so old.
The ship will continue to operate under the P&O brand until March. Passengers with upcoming bookings will be notified of any changes in the coming days.
Workers at Victoria's largest maximum security prison walked off the job this morning as the union ramps up weeks of industrial action. Pay negotiations broke down last month, workers calling for a 13.5% pay rise over 4 years.
Our members are concerned that the offer being made by the company isn't sufficient to meet the cost of living costs that they are incurring.
Prison operator G4S says it is disappointed members rejected their offer of 3.8% over the next year. Thefts from motor vehicles have soared across the state, with police seeing a jump of 19%. Tradie tools and registration plates among the most popular items stolen. Neri Tai joins us in the studio to discuss this alarming trend. Neri, most vehicles were unlocked.
That's right, Dougal. Police intelligence is showing us that most of these vehicles have been left unlocked. And you can see from the CCTV that these opportunistic thieves are creeping around looking for easy targets. They might spend one night creeping around a number of streets in one suburb, the next night targeting another suburb. We spoke to an immigration lawyer who says that she checks her car every single night, presses a button 10 times, but for whatever reason, one weekend she didn't lock her car. she fell victim to theft. And inside her vehicle, she had her Gucci sunnies, designer handbag, but most importantly, her MacBook Pro. And as an immigration lawyer, Payal says she had sensitive data on there, including her clients' passport details and visa details. So she was desperate to get that MacBook back. She ended up tracking it to a nearby home. Her and her husband went there after midnight, demanding the stolen goods be handed over. Let's hear from the victim now.
I was really panicked. I questioned him, from where you got this laptop from? He said from Facebook Market or Gumtree, he don't remember.
It's a big problem in the West, Neri. Police have now set up a theft reduction team to tackle the issue. Is that right?
That's right. It's actually a big problem statewide. As you mentioned in the intro, it's gone up 19% theft from motor vehicles. But in the Wyndham area, in Truganina, in Tarneet, Hoppers Crossing, police have seen a massive issue. And they've had close to 2,000 theft from motor vehicle incidents in the Wyndham area alone, and that was last year. It's not just tradie tools, as you mentioned, and rego plates, but it's also handbags and golf clubs. But concerningly, it's also personal ID and documents from cars. So things like, letters or random things that you might leave in your car. We were there when detectives arrested a 29-year-old man accused of breaking into cars and stealing ID and personal information, then allegedly setting up a personal loan for $20,000 and also allegedly purchasing a mobile phone. Let's hear from police now.
Attempting to get out a $20,000 loan in the victim's names. On this occasion, he was unsuccessful. However, we're alleging he was successful in using the victim's details to order a mobile phone.
Now, a rise in thefts has also seen an increase in insurance premiums, and we'll have more on that story on 9 News at 6 o'clock.
Looking forward to your full report, Neri. Thank you. Well, Israel says 4 of its hostages, 3 men in their 80s and 1 in his 50s, died inside the Gaza Strip months ago, and their bodies are being held by Hamas. This comes as Israeli and Hamas officials continue to weigh up a ceasefire deal outlined by US President Joe Biden.
They ought to take this deal. It's very forward leaning, and it's good for the people of Gaza, good for the Israeli people, and they just need to move forward on it.
Meanwhile, about 1 million Palestinians have been displaced again from Rafah as Israel's offensive continues, many taking refuge in central Gaza, where fighting was focused on months ago. British far-right figure Nigel Farage will declare he will now run in the country's election, a further threat to the voter support of Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Details from Europe correspondent Brett McLeod.
It was British Prime Minister Harold Wilson who first said a week is a long time in politics. Nigel Farage has proven that again. Last week, when he was asked if he would stand as an MP on the July 4 election, he said it didn't leave him enough time to get organised. Well, now he said he has got enough time to get organised. He will stand as an MP in a seat in Essex. He's also taken over as head of the Reform Party, further to the right of the Conservatives, and pulling a lot of polling support away from Rishi Sunak's party. At his what he called emergency press conference, he called for revolt within the UK political system.
Yes, a revolt. A turning of our backs on the political status quo. It doesn't work. Nothing in this country works anymore. The health service doesn't work. The roads don't work. None of our public services are up to scratch. We are in decline. This will only be turned around with boldness.
Nigel Farage has certainly been successful in influencing British politics, much more so than when he's tried to be an actual politician. He's stood for Parliament 7 times and been defeated every time. Perhaps it'll be 8th time lucky.
Well, petrol for just 99 cents a litre has cars queued up in Melbourne's north as far as the eye can see. Details next. And Smokey and Boo need your help after their miraculous escape from a Dandenong house fire.
The jury hears Greg Lynn tell police he stole cash from the high country campers.
A tourist brutally attacked while riding an e-scooter.
The push to let foreign nationals join our defence forces.
TJ and Tom Morris live from Harley Reid's tribunal hearing.
And how to help Smokey and Boo recover from their fire fright.
There has always been a rivalry between the Americans and the Australians in swimming.
every single meet was like an 8-round boxing match.
The competitiveness to be in that event, it's pretty cutthroat.
This is the man whose comments have brought a reaction from the most senior of our swim team.
Someone like that coming out saying he's going to smash us like guitars.
That went through our team like a lightning bolt. Duncan went into the Olympics ranked 46th in the world. He was the ultimate underdog.
I've been practicing putting my head down at the finish since I was 10 years old. I've got my hand on the pad, and it's all over.
Nine's landmark series.
The United States and Australia, it is fireworks.
We always want to smash them every time we get up on the blocks.
Gave up my study. I didn't really maintain relationships in my life. I was just so desperate to win.
I just jumped into the trough and body surfed in.
Michael Phelps creates Olympic history. What do you think we come here for? Silver? Stuff the silver, we come for the gold. Beyond the Dream, Boiling Point, Sunday at 7.
From nature to you, introducing Botanica's first aerosol-free automatic spray, with fragrances infused with responsibly sourced natural ingredients to keep your home fresh 24/7. Botanica, inspired by nature.
When the lucky country isn't so lucky, it's lucky you're with Amy.
Lucky you're with Amy.
When things collide, they make noise. Real noise. Noise loud enough to turn Tuesday into Taco Tuesday. Old El Paso, make some noise.
Dad, the dishwasher stinks.
Well, maybe it needs a clean.
Look at this.
Grease and limescale may build up inside your dishwasher. Try Finish Dishwasher Deep Cleaner to help remove hidden grease and limescale.
So simple.
Try Finish today.
I never thought I'd need a personal injury lawyer.
Then again, I never thought I'd be injured in a car accident.
But I knew I had to protect what mattered.
Where will you draw the line? Start by calling 13 11 99 or search Shine Lawyers to right wrong.
Maybelline, New York.
Let's build some brow.
New Build-A-Brow. Step 1, fill, hair-like strokes. Step 2, sculpt, sealing gel. For real-looking, full brows.
Nailed it.
New Build-A-Brow. Maybelline, New York.
Dynamo.
Show me your smile then.
Dynamo Discs. For superior stain removal, first time. That's our deep clean promise. Dynamo. Keep away from children.
They're all getting lucky.
Wow.
But just who will hit the big time?
$20,000.
Tipping Point, tonight at 5.
Well, there's a queue stretching for kilometres outside of Metro Petroleum in Thomastown this afternoon, with the servo offering petrol, diesel and gas to motorists for 99 cents a litre. The promotion is thanks to the Dreams Come True Club. Its mission is to alleviate cost of living pressures on Victorian families. We'll have more on this story in the news at 6. Gangland matriarch Judy Moran has reportedly made a plea for an early release from prison on the grounds of poor health. Moran is behind bars for a minimum of 21 years for the 2009 murder of her brother-in-law Desmond Moran. It's believed Judy Moran has enlisted the help of Mick Gatto for a petition of mercy. Well, Victorians are the second most generous when it comes to donating to the Red Cross, ranked just behind New South Wales. But cost of living pressures and consecutive rate rises are taking their toll on donations to the humanitarian organisation nationally. There's been a 21% reduction in contributions from May 2022 to December 2023 compared to the same period the year before. The Red Cross is launching its end of financial year tax appeal and says every dollar counts at this critical time. Well, a fundraising effort has been launched to cover Boo the cat's vet bills after the feline and his brother Smokey miraculously survived a blaze that destroyed their family's Dandenong home. Stephanie Anderson has more.
The damage here at Dwayne and Ryan's Dandenong home, southeast of Melbourne, is extensive. Their clothes, photos and belongings were destroyed in the blaze, but incredibly, their 2 cats made it out alive. This is Boo and Smokey, 2 very lucky feline brothers who've got quite the tale to tell. It was Friday week ago on May 24 that Dwayne and Ryan's day took a dramatic turn.
The original warning to the fire was my son yelling out to me. He smelt something in the bathroom, turned the shower off, then at some point within 10 seconds he realised something's wrong, opened the shower door and saw the glow and crouched in the front of the house and watched our property burn. 36 hours later, the father and son managed to start looking through the charred shell of their 2-bedroom unit and they couldn't believe what they found. A piece of my ceiling had collapsed onto my sink. I had picked that up, to be frank, in a huff. I threw it with some I'm over it. And there was my cat underneath the sink. He let out one hell of a meow.
Smokey had survived too. He was under the bonnet of Dwayne's car. But while he suffered smoke inhalation, his brother's severely burnt paws were the worst of the injuries. They required treatment every second day and the costs are quickly adding up.
The burns are so severe that he needed to be anaesthetised each time before they can take off the bandage and they can change it. So that's $500 each time.
So the teams from Pets of the Homeless, an organisation that works to keep vulnerable people and their pets together, have stepped in to fundraise.
We're thinking it's going to be at least $6,000 for his ongoing care, and so we're hoping to alleviate that burden from Dwayne.
In my opinion, he's fighting, he deserves to live, and I would like to help him do that.
Dwayne and Ryan have hotel accommodation for this week, thanks to the local council, and friends are helping care for their cats. But beyond that, this family is still working out what comes next.
Livinia returns now with another check on the weather, and what can we expect tomorrow, Livinia?
More cloud, Dougal, but we will see a slight bump in temperature over the coming days. I'll have all the Wednesday weather for you next.
Coming up in Melbourne's 9 News, a battered tourist tells how a King Street thug shoved her off an e-scooter.
A jury hears Greg Lynn tell police he stole cash from the high country campers.
Thousands of homes at risk of fire and flood, but the residents don't know it.
The car thieves now stealing your identity.
A nephew's pilgrimage honouring a Hawthorn hero's D-Day legacy.
The servo selling petrol for 99 cents a litre.
And TJ and Tom Morris are live from Harley Reid's Tribunal Challenge. Your news at 6.
Painful sore throat ruining your day? Turn it around with Strepsils. Strepsils Extra helps kill bacteria and numbs pain fast. For effective relief, try Strepsils.
Joe, why not check to see if you're wasting money on your car insurance? Grab the wheel by the horn. Switching is easy with Compare the Market. Download the Simples app today.
Every parent knows when it's time to go into protect mode. Glen 20 kills 99.9% of viruses, including the flu and COVID-19 virus. Glen 20, it's peace of mind you can hold on to.
Take a bow, Aldi shoppers. We couldn't have won Australia's most satisfied customers year after year without you. Keep the change. Aldi, good different.
So, expanding the warehouse.
Yeah, stock is moving, but I'm just...
Boss, we've got more orders!
Look, it's a big call. What if this is just a temporary rush?
Champagne! Your numbers are looking good.
Let's do it.
If business decisions feel wild, our business experts can help you wrangle them. NAB, more than money.
What if $2 was all it took to open the door and step into a world of absolute perfection? Where outdoor living borders perfect fairways and where style and luxury is found in every corner. Someone will win this $3.7 million Marta Prize Home package in the heart of the Sunshine Coast. Get your tickets today and support a great cause at martalotteries.com.au.
When life moves fast, there's no time for headaches.
Unleash the speed of liquid with Nurofen Advanced Liquid Capsules, getting you back to what really matters fast. Nurofen Advanced. Leave your pain to us.
When you want fast relief from pain, try Panadol Rapid 80s $14.99 from Chemist Warehouse. It works on pain relief 10 minutes faster than standard Panadol tablets, so you can be there. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
This weather report brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. Get discounted prescriptions every day. Head in store or online to see how much you will save.
Good afternoon. It's been a cloudy but calm day around Melbourne and temperatures have been spot on average in the city, a low of 7 and a top of 14, although that maximum did come before lunchtime. Right now it's sitting on 13. Most suburbs reached 13 or 14 degrees this afternoon. It was a little cooler at Tullamarine, only made it to 12 degrees, and after dipping to 5, Ferny Creek didn't quite make it to double figures. It peaked at 9. Western parts of the state were the coldest this morning. Horsham recorded the lowest minimum away from the Alps, dropping to -4. But it was -0.4, sorry. But it was a mild night through the east. Orbost and Mallacoota stayed in double figures and went on to reach 14 and 15 this afternoon. And Mallacoota has stayed dry after receiving a drenching overnight into Monday. There's a broad area of cloud sitting over eastern parts of the country, but very little rainfall across the mainland. Just a few showers in South Australia. Tomorrow, high will settle over southern WA, extending across most of the country and keeping things dry, but eastern parts of New South Wales will have another showery day. Sydney could add another 10 millimetres to its already impressive total. The city has now accumulated more than a metre of rain this year, a milestone that normally comes in October. Canberra can also expect showers, but it'll be dry elsewhere. A top of 22 for Brisbane, 17 in Adelaide, 23 in Perth, and a mild day for Hobart, a top of 15 on the way. Back home, it'll be another chilly night in the state's west. A frost warning has been issued for the Wimmera and southwest districts. Then most of the state is heading for 15 or 16 degrees, so slightly warmer than today. It'll be another cloudy day around Melbourne, a low of 7 but a top of 15. And once again, winds will be light. Then Thursday, a low of 8 and a top of 17. And we should get some breaks of sunshine. So a little improvement over the next few days, Dougal.
That is good to hear, Livinia. Thank you. And that is 9 News for this afternoon. We'll have more on the day's top stories in 9 News at 6. Thanks for joining us.
Every new counter that's cast into our machine is a chance for